Okay, Tanisa, let me just start from zero, okay? So actually, I'll send you this file, this folder with everything. Just unzip it and start from there. I'll delete everything and start from empty pages. So if we look at the render page here, it's actually empty without a title. So let's start building. So actually, we'll start with HTML. In the HTML, we have the head and we have the body, right? You already know that, I'm sure about it. In the head, we can always give the title. So actually, the title is the thing which is here. So for example, let me write anything. You see, it will come here in the title. So let me write it properly, which is CSS assignment, right? Assignment, right. So now we have the CSS assignment. The first thing we have in this, if we look at this picture, which is our goal, we have actually like this green one, which is the header. Let's call it header, okay? So a div, like this is the first div we have. Then we have like this div, let's say, and then we have this div, then we have this div, then we have this div and this div. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the blue text, 5 are the images, 6 is this one, like first, second, third, and 7. So we have 7 divs. So let's just basically go here and make 7 divs. Okay, so div, and then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, what I'm clicking here is Control plus D. So Control D to copy stuff. That's good to know. Okay, so now we have 7 divs. Okay, as I've said, let's start building the first div here, which is like CSS assignment practice, 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 right? So if we come here, we will start writing the following. So let us first have another div inside this one. Let us give it an ID because you love IDs. Okay, let's call the ID text wrapper. So it wraps the text basically. So in this one, I'll put h1 and I'll give it laterally an ID or a class. Let me just now call it a CSS assignment. So now in our code, we have CSS assignment. Amazing. So now, as you see here, if you look at this one, we have actually CSS 2 times. Like, let me make it bigger. You see, actually this black and the blue color is nothing but 2 texts above each other. One is blue and one is black. And they have like some paddings. Actually, they have some margins. So the position of the 2 is just like basically a bit, there's a bit change. That's why we see the blue color behind the black color. So actually, let's start just doing copying the text because we know we have 2 texts here. So let's just give it here an ID or a class. Let me start with ID because you love IDs and you work with IDs usually. Let me give this one the class black because this is the black one, okay? And this one blue. So we're just giving classes here. Let's continue and just write practice, practice, practice. Okay, amazing. Here is it. It's a paragraph, and in the paragraph we have practice, practice, practice. Now we see it here, and we see two times assignment. Don't worry about that. We will cover that later. Let's just continue and build the dynamic content. And if you like we can go section for section. And I think this is the first section. This is the first div. So let's design this div. Okay, let's start designing this div. So first we go here. There is a good practice in CSS, which you do, which is just to neutralize everything. So it's to neutralize every element. So to do that, to just neutralize stuff, we do this star, which means all. So for all elements in the HTML, that means like divs for divs, h1s, p tables, everything. We will add margin 0, and then we will add padding 0. So we're just neutralizing stuff. This means nothing but neutralizing. It will help us to maintain this neutralization. And then we have box sizing. I'll tell you what that is. Box sizing is just like maintaining that the width and the height of the box. If we have a box here, like let's say like that, let's say that's a box. So it will maintain for us that the padding and the margins will add up to the width or the height of this box we have. So that's it basically. So here we have body. Okay, we'll not give it anything here till now. The body, we're calling the body. We're not giving it any style. And then let's just start designing the first section. Okay. So in the first section, as you see here, we have, let's call this first section, give it an ID. Let's call it header, because like it's up. Okay, it's like the head of the page. So we will call the header and give it, as we see here, the goal is to give it a color. So let's give it a background color. The background color will be this light green one. Okay, now let's check it. Okay, it's not working yet. Okay, let me tell you why that is not working, because it's not linked yet. So that's my fault. So we should always link the CSS file in the head. You know that already, I'm sure about that. I just forgot that. It's okay. So I'll add the styles.css. So now let's just save and come here. We'll see we have now the right color. So after that, let's just like put everything in the middle. Okay. So to put everything in the middle, we have many options. So one of the options is just like to write text align center. And if we come here, we'll see everything is aligned to the center. And if we look here, like we have some paddings. So you see, we have some paddings, like about 10 pixels. So let's add some paddings here, 10 pixels. So padding 10 pixels. You see, it looks like that now. So now let's just like put this one, okay, behind this one. How do we do that? Let's see now. Okay, so now we call them black, okay, and blue. As we see here, the blue will be behind. So to do that, we'll take the blue one, okay, and give it a position absolute. We'll give it absolute position, okay, and we'll just give it for now top 0, because with the position absolute we should always give something. And right, I'll give it top 0 and right 0 pixels or 0%. If we go here now, we'll see a mess for sure, and we'll see that this one is here. Let me give it the right color just to see with which one we are handling here. So let me give it the color blue. Okay. So now we have the blue color here. So let me bring this one to here. How do I bring it? As I said, when you have a position absolute, it should be absolute to something, because like it's not absolute for nothing. It's absolute for something. So should we ask like absolute for what? Absolute for the other text, because it will have like absolutely change in the position according to this one. That's why we should give this one position relative. Okay, and then we will see that. Okay, it should be like the father. So let's just give this one position relative, which is the header, and try it out. And we'll see that it stays there. Why? Because the right is 0 here. So let me put here inside here, or actually inside here, Let me just put that the width of this one is fit content, okay? So now we have that it fits the content, and this one is here. I know it's a mess, but let's continue. So now, a better way to just center stuff in the middle is display flex. When you use display flex, you are flexing items in the whole thing. So as you see, they are flexed here in front of each other, not vertically anymore. But then you have a trick here. You can call call a property called flex direction and put a column, and then they will be flexed in the column. And then you have another property which is called align items, and then you put center. This means it will align every item to the center. Then you have them aligned here. So now by having that done, let us come back to this blue text and try to put 10 pixels and see what we have here. You should be able to test too. That's why like you should be trying always. If we put 1000, it's in the middle. So actually, as you see, if we put 1000 in the right, it's just counting 1000 pixels from here till this one. So actually, there's as you see, there is something wrong, because why is it starting to count from here? So that means in the relative, which is like the anchor of the whole thing, let's just bring that this anchor to the header, or to this one. Let's keep it here. As we see, we have the wrapper here. Let's just take the wrapper. I think it's an ID, right? It's an ID. Just take the wrapper, okay, and put this position relative in it, and do the same here. Like the width should fit the content. And as you see here, like this blue color is here. That changed something. So let's put now 0. You see? Do you know why this one is blue now? Because it's just covering the next one. That's why we should just now here change this blue one a bit down. So let's take it 2 pixels right. You see? That's amazing. Okay, let me remove this one. We don't need it, the fit thing. Okay, at the top, let me put 2 pixels. Okay, why is it breaking? I'm not sure why it's breaking. Okay, let's just continue. Let's just continue, and we'll see why is it breaking. But you see, we've reached something that we need to have, which is good now. Let's just take this one, the assignment. So let me put here like width, because the width of this one is a mess. So let me fit the content in it, and then we have it right. You see, you should just think logically with CSS, and you'll find the answer. So now, as you see, the blue is in front, so we need the opposite. So let's just take these, okay, put it in the black. Then we take this one, the fit content too, and we put it in the black too. So we have the opposite thing happening. So we have now like that the blue is behind the black, but actually we still have something to do, which is, if you look at here, it should be down a bit and right a bit. So the top, it shouldn't be -2, it should be, let me just like put bottom should be 2 pixels. Let me try it. Amazing. And or let me put 4 pixels, much better. No, it's a lot. Keep it 2 pixels and 2 pixels to the right. Now, if we zoom out, we have Everything amazing. Let's try it for one more time because we should be zoomed out. It's a lot. We'll try this one too. I'm just trying here, as you see, to find the right fit. Amazing. I think it should be just like 2, which is good to go. You see, we've achieved this one. As you see, I can tell now that the practice should be bold. So let me make the practice bold. If we come here and look at the practice, let me give the practice an ID. This ID, let me just like call it practice, okay. And then now take this practice, come here, call it, and give it a font weight of 700. 700 means very bold. 800 is too bold too. Practice. Am I calling the right? I should just save. You see, it's bold now. Amazing. We have the first section successfully implemented. So now let's look at the second thing, which is like this one: first, second, third. So we have now this one. Let's just give it an ID and call it first, second. It's much better like that. First, second, third. Just an ID. You can call it however you like. Just take this one. Inside of this one, I'll put 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is first. I'll give it an ID first. Okay. It's called first. Then we have second, we have third. Second. Actually, it's second, a seco, and not second. So let's skip it like it is. And then we have third. Okay, third. So let's take this one. Okay, with these, come to the styles, start making this thing. Just make here a small line break, just to show you that it's a new section. Amazing, good, amazing. It's good too. It's called like first, second, and third section. That's just for the clean code. Okay, amazing. Now, these are all IDs, so we should put a hashtag. Never forget the hashtag when you are calling an ID. Same here. So now, if we look at what we have first, second, third. The first thing that we want to do, let's just give a background color for each one of them. So as you see, first is green, second is red. First is green, second is red. Then we have the third one, yellow. Amazing. You see? Great. Now, instead of having these below and above each other, we want to have them horizontally in line with each other. So to do that, as I've told you, we always use display flex. So let's display flex. So it actually display flex, it just flexes the elements in line. That's it. You see, they are now horizontally. Let me just show you that. If I hide this one, they will be vertically. If I just show it, they will be in front of each, in line with each other. And that's what we need. So let me just add these points to the third, as you see. So go to the HTML, add 5 points, amazing. And then that's it actually. But let me just make one small thing, which is giving some margins here, you know? It's about margin 30%, you see? Because this is 100% all, and this is about 30%. So let me just give it a margin left, okay? So margin left 30%. Then we can see now it's here. Amazing. That's the thing we need. And then we have some margins on the top and bottom. Let me just write that. We have margin top. Let me just put 10 pixels and margin bottom 10 pixels too. Amazing. Amazing. That's the thing. That's what we need. But actually, as you see here, the paragraph or the text should be in should be written in uppercase. So to do that, I will just call the three IDs together. You can always call the things together too. I'm not sure if you know that, but that's a good thing to know. So I will call first, second, third, and just open this stuff. We've misspelled third. And then we have text. It's called text transform to uppercase. Now they are uppercase. Let's continue. Now we need to add images. It's the new section. Let me open this section, which is, as you see now, we have the first section, which is the header, the second section containing first, second, third. Third section, let me give it an ID called images. And in this ID, we have two images. Actually, we have 4 images. So let me just call the images. So actually, we have a forest class. So forest. And then we have class icon. And we have forest and icon one more time. Amazing. Just copy this one. So we have them 4 times. If we look now at our screen, as you see, they are huge first. So let me just decrease the width and the height. But let me teach you something here before we start. Let me put image. Okay, let me just be very clean with the code. Copy this one and write here images section. In the images section, we have actually a ID images. We'll not give it anything till now. And then we have image, generally speaking, image. And this image, okay, we'll give it a width of, let's say 400 pixels. It's great. But now we should be careful. You can give it a height for 100 pixels, but you'll miss stuff. You see, it looks very weird now. So actually, you should always, because of the resolution, you should always, when you define the width of the picture, 400 or 500 or whatever, just keep it auto the height, so it takes the right scale, so it looks good. You see, it looks good. Yeah, and as you see, they are actually already flexed. But if they were under each other, well, actually, I know why they are flexed, because the image have a display aligned. So if I put display block here, they will be under each other, but we don't need that. Okay, but just for the sake, let us still keep this one block. Okay, or let's just take this block and put it in the stars here. So every single element, the natural case of the element, let's keep it block. Okay, so every element we create in the HTML will be blocked now. So it's block. You see, it's block now. There's something wrong. I'm not sure what, but let's wait. Okay, so let me now take this image and flex stuff. I'm trying to make that just to teach you with the flex. You should know that the display flex, it's very important. These should be flexed now. So you just come to the main thing and you write display flex. Whoop, everything is flexed. I'm not sure what this one is. Let me check. Let me see. Okay, it's from this one. Why? I'm not sure. Let me just remove it. as I added, I had some problem. Okay, let me be quicker. Amazing. Now we have it like that, but you see, we need to add stuff here. So to do that, let's just make here, right, a line, or let's justify content. We'll justify content space evenly. Okay. You see, they are now evenly spaced. Now we have the third section in our website done too. So now let's take a look on, let me see, maybe you brought me a message. Give me a second. I'll be quicker. Okay, I'll be quicker. So let me just bring the text you have to put it, this text. Let me just bring the text. Where do you have the text? The worst case scenario, I can write it. Give me a second to bring the text. Okay, now we have it. This random text. Okay, you can always still change this text, but this is a random text. Okay, so let's come to this one. Let's give it an ID, call it random text, and then write stuff in it. Let me open paragraph. This paragraph I've pasted the text in here. Let me close it just to see the code in a clean way. Let me take this random text. As you see, we have new section. So let's copy this one always in the new section to keep stuff random, stuff clean. Amazing. Now we have random text. So the first thing we know about the random text is it's blue. So let us directly give it a color blue. Amazing. You see, the color is blue here, and here it's not taking that yet because the random text is the dev. And actually let me just add it's an ID and it's not the stuff, but we should be careful. Actually, in the random text, we need just the P to the paragraph to be blue. It's working now, but it's better to be clean. So actually, we don't need the whole div to be blue. It's working now because we don't have any other paragraph. But if we have any other paragraph here, it will be blue too because it's inside this div. So to do it in a better way, we can write here. We can give this one random. We can give this one blue paragraph, and give this blue paragraph, put it instead of random text. And then we have the same effect. Amazing. Then we need some padding. So let's take the random text and add some padding. So let me add padding. Sorry, padding. So adding padding 10 pixels. I think that's good. Let's continue and be quicker. So now, just to make it a bit easier, because you know the table already, I'll just bring the table code, okay? Because you already had that. So you understood that already. So this one now, new section, it will be called ID table or table section, right? And that we'll have the table. Okay, let me tell you something. Before this one, let's just put 2 lines because we already have 2 lines. To make lines, this HR, which actually mean horizontal, and let's copy that to the to under the table. So actually now we have 2 lines before and after the table, which are these lines. But as you see here, between the lines, we have some space more than here. So to do that, let's just take the HR, generally speaking, and come here in a new section. As I said, that's very important to keep the code clean for you. So let me write here new section, which is table section. In the table section, we have this HR, which is the line, horizontally line. We'll put margin bottom. So this means actually that after each horizontal line, we have a margin in the bottom, which is 5 pixels. In this case, we'll always have some spaces, as you see here, which is amazing. And as you see here, the table doesn't have any styling, okay? So let's add some styling to the table. To do that, we will actually take the table, okay? In the table, we'll take the th, okay? And we'll take the tr. Th and tr. Let me remove that. We don't need that. Now, so let me take the table, the th, the tr, and the th. Okay, just copy them and put them in the styles. Give me a second, just to bring that. Amazing. So these three, we will add for them some border, 2 pixels, and it will be solid, and it will be, let's just give it a black. So now if we look here, we have these amazing and very beautiful borders. And actually, let's just make the font a bit bigger. Font size, just put large, which is big enough. Amazing. And I think we need a bit of padding, as you see here, a bit of padding. But the padding is not on the whole table, it's just like on the TD and TH. So let me add padding. I'll add padding 1 pixel actually, just to make the same that you have here in this one. Oh, forgot the checkboxes. We'll do it next. Okay. Let me continue. Okay. So actually now we have this one, but as you see, these here should be empty. So what we can do you know why do we have border here? Because we've done the border here. So if we remove a border, we'll not have border anywhere. So actually we want to have border in everywhere except these. Do you know what I mean? So we'll bring the border back, but then we will give this square and this square special IDs, okay? And in this case, as I've told you, classes are a much better thing to give. So we'll come here on the empty one and give it a class. We can use ID too, but let me show you the difference between ID and class. So if we use ID, we'll call it empty one, and then we should call the other one empty two. Okay, which this one is empty. Okay, and so you should always have different IDs, which is not like these are both empty and both the same element. So in this case, it's better to give a class. So this is the use of class. So now give to the class. Let's just call it not empty. Let's call it without border, because we don't need border here. Okay, we'll move this too. We'll take this without border. Okay, we'll call it here. Amazing. And then we'll give it border none. So actually, this will go to the HTML and search for without border. When it finds these devs, it will give them border none. So it will come here, find the with border and without border, and we'll give them border of none, which is no border. If you see, look here now, we have no borders, which is amazing. I feel myself Indian now. They do a lot of YouTube videos. Okay, so I need to cut the video and do another one just to do the last steps.